Hello and welcome to today's demo. Today we're very quickly going to show you how Access People works with the EarlyPay app, which of course is the smartphone app that gives your staff the ability to access a portion of their earned pay on demand. And for the demo, we're actually going to make a withdrawal in the app for a waiter in a pub to show you how the whole thing works. And the important thing just to remember throughout this process is that basically everything that happens in Access People will update into EarlyPay. And that's how the balances will accrue for your staff in the app. So, as I said, for today, we have a waiter, Jack Robbins, at the Fox and Hounds pub. We can see in the EarlyPay system that the Fox and Hounds run a monthly payroll, which will finish at the end of June. So, throughout the month of June, as Jack does shifts in the pub, the EarlyPay app will accrue a balance and build an availability based on those shifts. So we can see that so far throughout the month, Jack has done a couple of shifts and he's actually earned £141. The pub have decided to give access to 50% of his earned pay, so that means that he has access to about £70 in the app. And just to look back into Access People, we can see where that balance comes from. So throughout this first week of June, Jack has completed a number of shifts, and based on the hours and pay rate, as those shifts get confirmed by his manager, that will send through a balance into EarlyPay. So let's go ahead and actually make a withdrawal in the app. So if I can just, I'm going to pull up the app now, and Jack has downloaded the EarlyPay app and has access to it. So to log in, he's just going to confirm with Touch ID, and as you can see in the app, he has that availability. He can see why he has earned that amount, and that's the earnings and the threshold of 50% that's been given as available to him. He can see a history of withdrawals that he's made, and perhaps in previous pay periods he might have made some pay periods, so he can keep a track of his finances. Very simply, let's go ahead and make that withdrawal. So he hits Get Paid Now. He's going to make a withdrawal for £50. When he makes a withdrawal, the app very clearly shows him the fees that he's going to be incurring to do so, and he can go ahead and do that. So we're going to confirm with fingerprint ID, and pretty much immediately those funds are sent to the bank account of his choice. So those funds are now with him now for him to spend as he chooses. The balance in his app obviously reduces, and if we now go back into EarlyPay and let's refresh, we should see that his balance has reduced and that withdrawal has been recorded. Sorry, I can spell his name. So his accrued income remains the same, but his balance has reduced by the £52.75. So that's a £50 withdrawal plus the £2.75 transaction fee. That will sit in his history, and he'll be able to see that in the app. Now, the important thing in terms of how that works with your payroll is that then records back into Access People as a deduction against Jack's pay. So if we just refresh the system, and sometimes this can take a little time to come through, but it's usually immediate. And let's find our waiter Jack. There is now in Access People an EarlyPay section, and we can see that transaction has come through. So you can see that the £50 and the £2.75 transaction has been applied back into Access People. And that's really important because very simply what will then happen at the end of the month, when it comes to running payroll, obviously that is now recorded on any reports that you run to run your payroll. That will be included on there and very simply sit on his next payslip as a deduction. Finally, what will happen is that Access, we forwarded the funds to him in the first place, we then make a collection via direct debit to your company on your payday. So there's, the whole proposition is cash neutral. It doesn't affect your company's cash flow at all. You're still paying the same amount on your company payday. It's just that some of that will come back to EarlyPay as a repayment. So you should hopefully be able to see that the whole thing is is self-fulfilling and all automated, so it won't affect how you run your payroll, but it will give your staff the ability to manage their finances and access pay when they need it in real time. Thank you very much.